Mr. President actually is spending Nigerians' funds, saying that it is right and this is their perfect strategy to making the economy grow, while all we are seeing is hardship. You can actually take a look at these cars, like take a look at the tires, cars that would not leave Abuja premises, cars that would not fly outside this country, cars that would not even be driven outside Nigeria. Like they won't even leave Abuja. And this is what Mr. President is spending 244 billion naira just on car tires. And so guys, welcome back again to our channel. Amidst this hardship in this country right now, our Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is spending 244 million naira on car tires. Like, you can check out these cars and check out the tires. These cars that would not leave Abuja premises is what our president is spending 244 million naira on. Like, amidst the hardship in the country, irrespective of the fact that people are crying that the inflation in this country is too high, it has risen to 33% and even going further. Like, the rich are not even getting richer and just the poor are getting poorer. The rich is getting poor. And this is not actually what Mr. President said he would do for us. Seeing all these things in this country, Mr. President and his vice have even said that they are going to get airports for themselves, and see that this is a perfect strategy for the country to grow. Like how? You can check out what our president spent such huge amounts of money on. Car tires. Just for himself, and yet asking Nigerians to make sacrifice that would help promote the economy of the country. And so guys, while this budgeting was made for 244 million naira on car tires, Mr. President was also urging the people that this is a perfect strategy to help the economy of this country grow. How? Mr. President said that Port Harcourt refinery would produce massively, as in would give us a massive production, yet up till now we have not seen anything. When Mr. President assumed office, he removed electricity tariff and even removed fuel subsidy, which has caused a lot of difficulty in Nigeria, brought in hardship so much. Transportation is high, food purchase is high, everything is high in Nigeria. Like, the economy has reduced so very much. Like, it is worse than it was before. We were still complaining of the last challenge, of the last tenure that we had, the last challenge that we had, and yet this one is getting worse than that one. As in, what we are really seeing in this country, and our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu has budgeted, has even spent, not even budgeted, he spent 244 million naira on car tires and budgeted 9.4 billion naira just for his expenses. And just on this, Mr. President and the Vice President of Nigeria are planning to get an aircraft for themselves. For a car that would not leave Abuja or would not leave Nigeria is what our president is spending 244 million naira on, seeing the hardship that is happening in Nigeria. When Mr. President assumed office, he decided to, cut off fuel subsidy, remove electricity tariff, and a lot more in Nigeria. He did a lot of things that brought in hardship, that people are screaming in this country, and they are asking the president, what have you done? Like, when Mr. President was elected, this was one of the things he planned to do, and he said would help the economic system of this country. And up until now, it has done nothing to the economic system of the country. Instead, it is causing hardship more and more. Mr. President and his vice even plotted and planned to get airports for themselves, still with Nigerians' fund. Mr. President, on this special note, decided to board tires, to get tires for himself. Seeing the hardship in Nigeria, Mr. President does not care. Mr. President does not really understand what people are facing in Nigeria, and yet he decided to spend such huge amount of money on car tires, saying that this amount of money will bring in stability, will bring in macroeconomic stability to Nigeria, thereby calling investors into the country. Like, when Mr. President assumed office, there are a lot of promises he made to Nigerians. You can see these car tires and these vehicles, as in, this is what our president actually budgeted such huge amounts of money on. When people are here facing difficulty, looking for how to cope with the economy, a lot of people are wondering why they did not plan to leave this country during Buhari's tenure. A lot of people are really hoping that they would have left the country during Buhari's tenure, not knowing that this one would get worse than that one. And yet our president is still planning to spend more and urges Nigerians to sacrifice for the nation's progress. Progress that we are not seeing, or progress that is not yet to come. Because all these things that are happening are really placing bills on Nigerians. Even in the fact that Mr. President said that this will actually make the macroeconomic stability of this country develop more, thereby calling investors, and that was why he spends this money on tires, to bring forth investors into Nigeria. How would Mr. President bring forth investors? How would investors think of coming into a country that the stability is too poor, coming into a country that the economic growth is very poor? Mr. President has also failed to come out and apologize to Nigerians on the fact that this inflation has risen to 33% in this country and is still rising. Compared to the past 28 years in Nigeria, the economy now has worsened. It is worse than it was before. And yet our president is spending more and telling us that it is for the progress of this country. What we are actually seeing in this country is too much, because a lot of people are suffering, coming to places that were not even developed before. They are getting worse than they were. And yet our president is spending money on tires. Our president is spending money on cars. Our president is doing a lot of spending, and yet we are not seeing the progress in this country. Removing false subsidy and electricity tariff is a lot of things that has actually brought down the economy of the country, because people are now suffering. Transportation is high, foodstuffs, everything is so high. People can no longer purchase things. Even the largest currency in our country right now cannot be spent on something very meaningful. Yet our president is spending such amounts of money on car tires. Wow, my people, may una dey look, may una dey watch, because this actually is I don't even know what to even conclude on this. Our president has done it, or done that one, and is yet to do more, because he will soon get himself an aircraft. And if people don't open their mouths to talk on this thing, it will really look like we are all seeing this and helping the economy grow, just as Mr. President said that we should sacrifice for our nation to grow. Unlike Kenya governments, their youth actually came out to pull grounds. But how are youth going to come out, forgetting what happened during EndSARS? On this special note, the president has also failed to come out and apologize to Nigerians, to come out and speak to Nigerians on the rising inflation, which is about 33% right now. The country is really seeing a lot of shaggy, and this is in the first year of his tenure. This is just the first year of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on seat and his vice, and all these things are happening in Nigeria. Really, Nigerians are seeing a lot of shaggy. You can see the cars that Mr. President bought for himself. You can check out the pictures. You can check out a lot of things that are happening in the state. And yet, Mr. President on his own is budgeting funds just for himself. He's not trying to help the economic system of this country grow. And this is why would investors even think of coming into a country that will owe funds? Why would investors even think of coming to invest in a country that the economic system is so poor? And yet, Mr. President says that the reason he's doing all these things is to help the economic system of this country. How? You can actually check for yourself, because this actually is not, I would not say, I don't know what to actually explain, but this is not sounding okay. That our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, would want to spend 244 billion naira on car tires, regardless of what people are seeing in Nigeria, regardless of the hardship, regardless of the situation of the people in Nigeria. Lots of people are crying. Only the rich is getting richer right now, because those who are where they are. Actually, even the rich are not even getting richer right now in Nigeria. Everybody is just staying stagnant, while some people are going down. Like going really down. And so guys, this is what we are seeing in this our country, Nigeria. But we believe that in Nigeria it's going to be better, no matter the matter. And we hope that Mr. President will adjust and actually look more into the economic system of our country and not just checking out on spendings and funds for himself alone. Like, he should also look at us and reason what is meant for the country. Stay tuned with us and we'll see you in our next episode. Thank you for watching.